Welcome to the Detached Observer, part of the Neurokrish Immersion. Here there are no outrage cycles, just a rational take on what's happening in politics and society. This episode is of the other in public life. We are going to contrast the celebrity we adore with the political group we despise and tell you how this is all one brain. Let's go back to Chennai 1987. M.G. Ramachandran passes on. The city does not just mourn, it collapses. People weep in the streets for a man they never met personally. Some throw themselves under the hearse. Some fast for days. Some set themselves on fire. And a question hangs in the air. What is happening here? We are wired as human beings to relate to others. Not just the people we know, not just our families and friends, others in public life, celebrities, politicians, heroes. Today we explore two expressions of the same deep brain tendency. In part 1, we explore the other whom we love, the celebrity, the star, the icon. In part 2, we explore the other we fear, the political group, the opposing map of the world. Same circuitry, completely different emotion. Same brain, opposite directions. Now what happens when the other is a star? In the 1990s, in Parma, a lab in Italy, a monkey was being experimented on. Giacomo Rizzolatti and his team were studying the motor cortex of the monkey. A researcher reaches for food. The monkey's brain fires, as if the monkey itself is reaching. But when they look at the monkey is not moving. The monkey's brain is simulating the action it is watching, that of the researcher reaching out for food. They call these cells mirror neurons. We don't just observe other people. We internally rehearse what they are doing and feeling. And this is the engine behind the human emotion of empathy, our ability to put ourselves in the shoes of others. And it is the engine behind parasocial love. So what then is a parasocial bond? It's a term coined by Horton and Wall in 1956. They were watching the early days of television. Viewers were writing letters to TV hosts, feeling genuine affection for them, worrying when the hosts seemed unwell, grieving when shows were cancelled. The TV was creating intimacy without reciprocity. The host speaks directly to the camera, to you, every week. The brain registers. What you see often is known. The familiar face becomes safe in the brain. The familiar voice becomes trusted. MGR was in millions of Tamil homes every week for decades on screen. The brain built a bond, a real one, neurologically real. Now, one powerful trait tends to color everything else, and that's called the halo effect. On the screen, MGR was brave, selfless, fought for the poor, always won. Week after week, film after film, year after year. The brain does not separate the character from the man. Heroism on screen must mean integrity in life. Screen loyalty must mean political loyalty. This is not logic, it is neurology. The halo is invisible, and this is exactly why it works. One vivid quality radiates outward. It lights up every other quality around it. The halo is not deception. It is how the brain processes pattern and trust. The parasocial bond has got a remarkable extension. It just doesn't attach to the star. It extends to the star's significant other, the person seen alongside them. Think of our current Chief Minister in Tamil Nadu, Joseph Vijay, and of Trisha. Right now, in Tamil cinema, millions adore Vijay. They also feel warmth towards Trisha, not because they know her, or indeed know him, but because they have witnessed the bond on screen. Affection witnessed on screen becomes acceptability to the public at large. This is not new. Tamil Nadu has seen this dynamic play out at the very highest level in politics. And I am talking about MGR and Jayalalitha, the political translation that happened. MGR's screen heroism built one of the most powerful parasocial bonds Tamil Nadu has ever known. He was the hero, brave, selfless, always fighting for the poor. Decades of films, millions of homes, a real neurological bond. In his films was Selvi Jayalalitha as the co-star. She became his significant other, seen alongside him, loved alongside him, and when she entered politics, the bond transferred. Very, very curiously, for a culture that is by and large not very approving of relationships outside of marriage, Tamil Nadu accepted Selvi Jayalalitha better than it accepted the wife, MGR's real wife, Janaki. So the populace did not evaluate a politician. They welcomed someone they had already quietly accepted. The halo moved from the star to the person beside the star, the significant other. Now zoom out. The same brain that wept for MGR, that felt genuine love for someone it never met, is the same brain that now turns on a political opponent. The mechanism is identical. A public figure becomes deeply personal. The brain makes them vivid to us. The brain makes them real. But now, instead of love, the emotion is threat. The other was a star. Now the other is the enemy. And of course, I'm not talking about MGR, but I'm talking about how in political life we start to see someone as the enemy, as the other. And we're going to talk about the other in politics. The other itself is a psychological concept. It was first articulated in philosophy by Hegel, Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, brought into psychology through identity theory and social cognition. The core idea is deceptively simple. The brain does not just perceive people as individuals. It constantly sorts. Is this person inside my group or outside it? Your brain is very tribal. Inside the group feels familiar, safe, trustworthy, like me. Outside the group, on the other hand, feels unfamiliar, potentially threatening, quite unlike me. The person you place outside the group is what we call the other in psychology. Not a villain, not necessarily an enemy, just not us, not one of us. And that single classification, not us, changes everything. How we listen, what we believe, what we fear, what we feel entitled to do. Now, recently in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, a single word was uttered which caused pell-mell. The word was Sanathanam. For one half of the country, it was a necessary challenge to outdated hierarchy and caste inequality, a defense of the marginalized. But for the other half, it was an attack on the soul of civilization, an existential provocation. Same word, same speech, same day. Two completely opposite emotional worlds. This is not really about one speech, or indeed the utterance of one word. It is a window into two very different mental maps of what India is. And as we will see, into the same ancient brain trick we just explored. The first map is the liberal left vision of India. India is above all a secular republic. The constitution is the sacred text, highest value, inclusion, equality, protection of the vulnerable. The deepest fear is the majority culture claiming ownership of the nation. And this is what your liberal left politician means when he or she talks about the idea of India that they have. Map 2, on the other hand, is the conservative right vision. India is an ancient civilizational state. Sanathanam is its living memory. The highest value is the cultural self-confidence and civilizational self-continuity that it promises. The deepest fear is decades of what felt like cultural self-erasure continuing. Neither map is invented, neither is unintelligent. Both are real responses to a real and very deep question. What makes this vast, chaotic, beautiful land feel like home? And believe me, for the person on the liberal left, that feeling is very different from what the person on the conservative right feels. Now, how does this play when politics is the arena? Take any political leader who sharply divides public opinion. The same action, the same speech, the same policy. Two groups receive it through completely opposite emotional filters. One group says the filter is threat. Even good outcomes are viewed with suspicion. Every action confirms what they already feared. The other group, the filter is trust. Even missteps are defended or reframed. Every action confirms what they already hoped. We recently had the incident of Prime Minister Narendra Modi handing over a small sweet called Melody to the Prime Minister of Italy, Melanie. And this, of course, became huge and went viral on social media. But look at the reactions from the liberal left and contrast them to the reactions in the conservative right. And that tells you exactly what I am talking about. Same data, same events, two completely different realities emerge. And that's not stupidity on either side. It is not dishonesty. This is confirmation bias, the brain's filter running at full strength. What happens when the other map speaks? What happens when a conservative person listens to the narrative of the liberal left? Or indeed, what happens when a liberal listens to the narrative from the conservative right? The amygdala is the brain's smoke detector. It registers threat before a single conscious thought forms. Milliseconds before reason, before reflection, your amygdala fires. Then confirmation bias locks in. Only facts that confirm they are the problem get through. Anything that complicates the story gets quietly filtered out. And then righteous anger arrives, and it feels good. It keeps the tribe tight, makes you feel part of something important. 3 moves, all automatic, all invisible on both sides. And this is the reason why we unconsciously live within echo chambers long before echo chambers evolved on digital media. So go back to the Sanathanam moment. How did the liberal left feel? To them, the other is a majoritarian force that will silence minorities. The brain felt a protective urgency. We must defend the constitution. The blind spot, half the country's deep sense of rootedness goes unseen. What happens to the conservative right in the Sanathanam moment? The other are people who seem to be ashamed of India's Hindu past. The brain felt justified pride. Finally, we are allowed to say we matter. The blind spot, the genuine fears of minorities tend to get ignored or go unseen. Same brain move, opposite directions. Each map is real, each map has a blind spot. The detached observer notices both without needing to judge anything. So, parasocial love runs on. Mirror neurons cause simulation of feeling. The halo effect, one trait lights up all the others. So, if I like the political leader and there is a halo effect like MGR had, there's nothing that the person can do wrong. Everything the person does is right. There is familiarity. The brain reads frequent as safe. Political othering continues. Tribal circuits help you decide, is this person in group or out of group? Confirmation bias operates. One fear filters all evidence. The amygdala alarm, the brain reads different as threat. Your amygdala fires. In both cases, the other in public life becomes a story the brain is telling you about yourself, about where you belong, about what you fear, about who you are. Not above it, inside it, but watching. When you feel the halo glow, can you name it and still choose? When the amygdala fires at the other map, can you pause even for one breath? Can I hold my admiration for a public figure without being blinded by the halo? Can I hold my own map of India lovingly while the other map gets to exist alongside it? The goal is not detachment from feeling. The goal is the feeling does not run you. The amygdala will fire. That's anatomy, that's neurology. So, of the other in public life, we are always in relationship with those we adore, with those we fear, with those we cannot understand. The brain made all of them vivid. The brain made all personal. Our invitation here at the Detached Observer, stay curious, stay gentle with yourself and with them. Until next time.